Okay, this is my recorded presentation for my in-class essay. So my first hypothesis is lower public trust in government systems and institutions increase the likelihood that extreme political parties will gain support, and that is because when people lose trust in mainstream political institutions, they become frustrated with the status quo and more willing to support extreme parties that promise radical change or claim to fix a broken system. Anti-establishment messages resonate when the public trust declines, so disillusioned citizens turn away from the traditional parties. When trust goes down in the government, people turn away from democratic processes and become more willing to accept extremist views. So my counter argument is that in some democracies, declining trust in government institutions doesn't necessarily push citizens towards radical or authoritarian movements. Instead, it can spark demands for reform, transparency, and accountability within the existing democratic framework. Citizens may channel their frustrations into civic engagement, social activism, or efforts to strengthen institutions rather than dismantle them. Moreover, the rise of extreme political parties often depends on additional factors beyond trust, such as the presence of charismatic leaders who can effectively tap into public discontent, the influence of social media in spreading polarizing messages, or major crises like economic recessions, migration surges, or war that heightens fear and division. These conditions can amplify extremism even in societies that with relatively stable trust levels, suggesting that distrust alone is not a sufficient explanation for the success of radical parties. My second hypothesis is countries with higher levels of economic inequality are more likely to see the emergence of ideologically extreme political parties, and that is because when only an elite group of people have a lot of money, lower income groups may feel excluded from political and economic decision making. This can lead to protests, social unrest, or even violent conflict as people demand fair access to opportunities and resources. People in unequal societies may be less likely to believe that everyone plays by the same rules, weakening cooperation and shared sense of national identity. And my counter argument is some countries with high inequality, like the US, have strong institutions, welfare systems, or moderate political cultures that prevent extreme parties from gaining power. In these cases, robust checks and balances, an independent judiciary, and a tradition of political pluralism help stabilize the system even when inequality is high. Additionally, social safety nets and public programs can erase the effects of inequality, reducing citizens' frustration and sense of exclusion. As a result, while inequality can create fertile ground for political polarization, it does not automatically lead to widespread support for extremist movements in every context.